Your Minnesota Vikings are 7-1, getting it done. Head to Western New York this weekend to take on the 6-2 Buffalo Bills. And for two teams that are in opposite conferences, this game is replete with tie-ins and narratives and all that stuff. We're going to go through the top 10 narratives between Vikings and Bills. Beyond like two fantastic fan bases getting it on. Vikings travel well. Bills Mafia, love and respect you. Please don't burn down my comment section. It's good times, man. Or bust a table on it. Woo! That's right. So Leslie Frazier, former head coach of the Vikings, 2011-2013, just didn't work out. But Leslie, respect, is a great defensive mind. He's got the Bills playing one of the best defenses in the National Football League. Actually, you can make a case that they are the best. They're number 1 in scoring. They're number 4 in yards. They're number 3 in turnovers. That's pretty good. That's a pretty nice trifecta there. Also, of course, you got the Stephon Diggs factor, traded in 2020 in the offseason, allowing the Vikings to bring in Justin Jefferson. Also, could you imagine Jefferson with Josh Allen, a healthy Josh Allen? It's crazy, man. Also, Case Keenum is a backup quarterback. We all know the Minneapolis Miracle and all that stuff. So, top 10 narratives up at the top. Yes, Case Keenum is number 1, especially since who knows what's going to be happening with Josh Allen's elbow. And even if he does play, he won't be 100%. So, I mean, Keenum could be the guy. And the Vikings, it's been interesting. They've been playing all the backups this year. So they played Teddy with the Dolphins. They played Heineke with the Commies. Could be Keenum with the Bills. Like, what's next? Sean Mannion's out there with the Seahawks. Do we get him in the playoffs? What the hell's going on? Is someone going? Are the Browns going to cut Kellen Mond and then he latches on somewhere and then just bust the Vikings over the head with a chair? Like, does he sign with the Giants? I don't know, man. But Keenum, 2017, man. They'll always be right here. And Keenum was, this undersized, not the strongest arm in the world, just a plucky dude who got it done. I think it really resonated with us Vikings fans because we do love the underdog. But, we rolled with Kirk instead of paying Keenum. But Keenum did get himself a nice contract out there with the Broncos and bounced around the league for a little bit. But now settled in as a really nice backup there for the Buffalo Bills. Next up, storyline narrative number 2, Diggs versus Jefferson. Now, this is going to be the talk because Stephon Diggs, still one of the best receivers in the game. Justin Jefferson is climbing the ladder to be the best wide receiver in the National Football League. And they will forever be intertwined because Stephon Diggs, former Viking, wanted it's time for a new beginning. Right after Kirk Cousins got his extension. Timing, right? So he got traded to Buffalo, and the Vikings with that pick drafted Justin Jefferson, and the rest is history. And Stephon Diggs, I'll always have love for Diggs, man, because of the Minneapolis Miracle, but things didn't end great here, but I think everyone's sort of over it. Now, it would be different if the Vikings had not found themselves an alpha wide receiver 1 in Jefferson. Like, it could have been significantly different. But I think bygones are bygones. I think Vikings fans, like, they hold a special place in their heart for Diggs and the Minneapolis Miracle. But at the end of the day, it turned into a business. And Diggs heading to Buffalo. Jefferson here with the Vikings. Going to get paid. Younger version. And, yeah, I think it just worked out pretty good. Next up, storyline number 3. Dalvin and James Cook. So the brothers are going to be on the same field. It's going to be awesome. It's a phenomenal achievement for the Cook family, and you just love to see it, man. Just wish that Dalvin and James' father would have been around to see this, but he's going to be watching this game and just be super proud of both of his sons. Dalvin becoming a star here with the Vikings. Also, I mean, the Bills have given up a lot of yards rushing the last couple games against the Packers and the Jets, so Dalvin could be a big-time factor on Sunday. James Cook still finding his way in the league, sort of a backup running back right now, but I think that his talent will rise to the surface eventually. A phenomenal receiver, played on Georgia last year, won a national title, was a mid-round pick by the Bills, so it's going to be extremely cool. I wonder who's going to jersey swap. Is a random Buffalo Bill going to come over to Dalvin and is like, hey, you want to swap jerseys after the game? And he'd be like, no. I love it, man. Next up, storyline number 4. Yes, Leslie Frazier. He is calling one of the best defenses in the league. It's going to be a tough game for the Vikings for sure, even though Buffalo, they're dinged up with a number of injuries. But it's crazy to see. When Leslie was here 2011, 2013, and in 2013, the Vikings had the worst defense in the National Football League. It was, hey, the cover 2, the Tampa 2, it's going to work, man. But it's amazing to see not the same defense, obviously, that they had in Minnesota, but a lot of the same principles where you got your great 2 deep safeties, even though Poyer's dinged up, and you get after with your front 4. And you see that it worked. You see that the principles trickled down and they worked on defense, man. And I love and respect Leslie Frazier. I think he's done a phenomenal job. I think he does deserve another chance to be a head coach. It just didn't work out here in Minnesota. Maybe he wasn't ready. I'm sure he's learned a lot since then. He's been assistant head coach here for Sean McDermott and the Bills. So, yeah, it's one of those spots where both sides thrived after a divorce. It happens, man. Next up, number 5, Harrison Phillips. Oh, yeah, going back the other direction. So Harrison Phillips, the pride of Stanford. Bills Mafia loved him. Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. After Phillips signed a free agent deal with the Vikings this offseason, you saw a lot of Bills fans on social media were pretty upset. I mean, Phillips was a big part of that front seven, and now he has a chance to slow them down, try and get after it with the Vikings' new defense. They're starting to really gel and really get after the quarterback. So, I mean, Harrison Phillips, I mean, him and his family, I'm sure, have a lot of memories of Western New York, where he was very beloved. Next up, storyline number 6, Xavier Rhodes. Because you forget, a couple weeks ago, the Bills, who had a lot of injuries at cornerback and still do, Tre'Davious White, TBD if he's going to be coming off of the IR pup and get in the game. But Xavier Rhodes signed to the practice squad. He hasn't played it down yet, but familiarity with Leslie. Leslie was head coach when the Vikings drafted Xavier in the first round, 2013. So, I mean, it's very unlikely that he's going to be up for the game, but I guess you never know. But it's kind of fun, man. It's kind of interesting. Like, it's like when Xavier was with the Colts, and Adam Thielen's like, give it to him, just like did in practice from back in the day, man. Next up, storyline number 7, Zach Davidson revenge game. Now, you remember Zach Davidson, the Marion Barbarian, physical freak, unicorn, just didn't work out. The Vikings decided to go in a different direction at tight end. But Davidson signed with the Bills practice squad relatively quickly, and also he's going to be in there feeding all of the information. It's like, hey, Kevin O'Connell's offense, this is what I learned in the offseason, this is what I learned in training camp. And Davidson, he's on the practice squad. He's probably going to be playing the role of TJ Hawkinson, practicing against the Bills starting defense. So it's going to be interesting because he does know the offense, and obviously it's changed throughout the season, and obviously it's certainly taking into account you have TJ Hawkinson, so there's going to be some shifts there, but it is going to be interesting where he could provide some information, but then Kevin O'Connell be like, hey, they know that I know that I know that they know all this stuff, but Hawkinson's still going to get the ball, man. There you go. Next up, storyline number 8, Vikings signature win. So the Vikings are 7-1, but outside of week 1, I mean, they haven't really had a signature win. Yes, all of these games have been close. Yes, Kirk Cousins has led 4 fourth-quarter game-winning drives throughout this 6-game winning stretch, which is fantastic. It's great. And the Vikings are learning to win close games, but we need the statement win. We do. And whether Allen is out there or not, just going into Buffalo, it's going to be tough because guess what? Josh Allen doesn't play defense. That doesn't affect things at all. But going into a hostile environment and getting a big-time win against a premium opponent, that would be absolutely monstrous for the Vikings. I was trying to say monstrous and monumental at the same time. So it became one word. There you go. Next up, number 9, 0-8 in the Super Bowls. Yeah, so what's actually worse, winning 4 Super Bowls sprinkled out over a couple of years like the Vikings did, or losing 4 straight? I don't know, but this actually feeds into point number 10, Super Bowl preview, because, I mean, the Bills, even though the loss to the Jets last week, are still up there in terms of the cream of the AFC with the Chiefs and whatnot, but, I mean, if the Vikings and Bills get to the Super Bowl, I mean, someone's got to win, right? Like, they can't tie. Or, like, there won't be an asteroid coming down right at the end of the game. It's like, someone's going to win. Just kidding. No, I don't think it'll be like that. But, I don't know. I'm sure that will get harped on ad nauseum by Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, whoever's calling the game. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's funny, man, because there are so many tie-ins that you just forgot about what's going on with the Vikings-Bills. I'm sure I forgot another one, too. It's like, I don't know. Kevin O'Connell was raised by a pack of wolves and a Buffalo Bill, like, way back in the day. So he has ties to it. I don't know, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Top 10 Vikings-Bills narratives heading into Sunday. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work, put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.